General Manager Will Dawkins is cooking like Gordon Ramsay after adding 3 impact prospects in this year's NBA draft, but it comes at the expense of Deni Avdija. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Brandon Scott, and I appreciate you guys making Locked On Wizards your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code Locked On NBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. All right, everybody, the NBA draft first round is in its closing stages, and the Wizards added 3 impact prospects, but Deni Avdija is on his way to Portland. So we're going to talk about the pros and the cons. I'll look at each prospect, and then we're going to do comments at the end like we always do. But very, very good draft, in my opinion. 3 high impact prospects, in my opinion. But then again, Deni Avdija is on his way to the Portland Trailblazers. So let's start with the number 2 overall pick in Alex Sarr. And obviously, look, a lot of us knew that it was probably going to be the pick at number 2, especially with the reports that Alex Sarr indeed wanted to come to DC, didn't work out for the Atlanta Hawks. Even though they held the cards, even though there was a slim chance they still drafted him, he fell at number 2 to the Washington Wizards. And look, I'm very, very, very happy because this guy, he's 19 years old, 7'1", 220 pounds. He's got rim protecting potential. He's swift on his feet. He can move in transition. I mean, offensively, he has a lot of weapons. Now, they're going to have to be further developed, but his three-point shot in his mid-range is going to develop and is going to translate, in my opinion. He's very high upside. He definitely wants to play at the power forward position, even though at 7'1", he can't play the 5, but he prefers playing power forward. So, obviously, subject to change, obviously subject to further moves, especially if, looking at the Wizards, do they move Kyle Kuzma or do they wait till the deadline? We just acquired Malcolm Brogdon. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So does he start out the gate? We shall see, because if he does, he's going to start at the 5. Obviously, if Kyle Kuzma stays till the deadline, he's going to be the power forward. And, a lot of questions. I mean, obviously, we're definitely going to talk about it. A lot of questions about, what's the lineup's going to look like, who's going to go where. Right now, small forward's wide open because Deni Avdija was traded, but we're going to talk about that. But getting back to Alex Sarr, man, at number 2, it's what I wanted. It was what a lot of people wanted, and I think that he is a really good prospect in number 2 because 7'1", who can, a guy who can move in transition. He can shoot. And I get it. The shot, the 3-point shot, the mid-range shot, him playing with his back to the basket are all areas that he's going to have to get better at. But you see the potential with his 3-point shot. You see the potential with his mid-range. You see the potential with his ability to attack the basket. He's a rim protector. He's a guy who's going to be a big asset in defending the paint. He's going to be a good help defender. He's definitely going to be a guy that's going to help with defense overall. And look at a lot of areas that we need help. Rebounding, interior defense, interior offense. He's going to help with all 3 areas. And once he polishes his offensive game, this is going to be a scary team, especially when you add him to Bilal Coulibaly. Because right now it's looking like it is going to be Bilal's team. Because Kyle Kuzma's name has been named or as a potential trade partner with the Boston Celtics. And we might very well get the 30th pick. Now, it's just rumors right now. And then Corey Kispert has been named as he's getting trade interest around the league right now. So it looks more and more that it's going to be Bilal Coulibaly's team. And it was said early on, especially within the last couple of months, that he was the one commodity on this roster that was untouchable. So I'm not very surprised and that they're handing the keys over to him as far as being that guy that they're going to build upon. Because look, we're going into year 2 of rebuilding. Realistically, we're probably looking at 2-3 more years of rebuilding till we start adding those certain pieces for a team to make a playoff run. We're looking at probably 2 or 3 more years of rebuilding, and he fits the timeline. He needs to be developed, but look, as we all know, with a revamped scouting department, with Brian Keefe and David Vanderpool leading this coaching staff, who excel in development. If you look at the front office, which Will Dawkins did his thing. Now, I'm going to talk about it. I'm not happy with the Deni trade, but overall, Will Dawkins showed why, that is, there's adults in the building now. Gone are the days of Ernie Grunfeld and Tommy Shepard. This draft was a good draft. And, a lot of people were down on this draft, but This is a developmental draft, which fits what the Wizards are trying to do. We got 3 good players, and it all starts with Alex Sarr. This kid can flat out play. And like I said, once he figures it all out, once we properly develop him, he is going to be an all-star, in my opinion. Now, I firmly believe in that. And the same thing with Bilal. I love the upside of Bilal. So Alex Sarr, really, really good move. And like I said, I'm going to grade all the picks at the end and what I think about the draft overall. So, but before we do, I'll get into the next move, which is Deni Avdija was traded before the draft started. And this is from Josh Robbins. Shout out to Josh Robbins. Big fan. Definitely, if you don't follow him on X, and if you're not a subscriber to The Athletic, I definitely recommend it. And he said, quote unquote, in the deal that will send Deni Avdija to Portland, the second round picks the Wizards will receive will be in 2028 and 2030. So currently, they're in middle school. Washington also will get tonight's 14th pick, which ended up being Bub Carrington. And as reported elsewhere, the second most favorable of Portland's 2029 first-round picks. So in hindsight, we got 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. Now, real quick, how do I feel about that? I mean, easy, man. I'm not happy. And the reason for that is, and I said this, I made it known that Denny was a tradable asset. I'm not saying he wasn't. He was definitely a tradable asset. And the same thing, Corey Kispert, the organization made it known that the only untradeable, the only untouchable was Bilal Coulibaly. So I'm not shocked by the move, but for him to get traded before veterans like Kyle Kuzma or Landry Shamet is what surprises me, because, I get it. He had value. I get it that you could flip it. And I had no problem with what we got in return. We got draft picks. Malcolm Brogdon is definitely a guy that that we're probably going to move at the deadline. He's obviously not a long-term piece. He's definitely going to provide leadership. I'm a big fan of Malcolm Brogdon. Injuries have been an issue, but again, he's not a long-term piece. But for a guy at 23 years old who he is homegrown, you drafted him, you developed him, you watch him break out, you sign him to an extension, and you turn around and move him, it is questionable to me. Not because you moved him, but because you moved him in front of Kyle Kuzma. I mean, because the biggest argument that I saw with not moving Kyle Kuzma was having a team-friendly deal. Look at Deni's deal. I mean, it was much more team-friendly than Kyle Kuzma's deal. So it to me is very questionable to move him before you would move Kyle Kuzma. And Kyle Kuzma, he's got reflexes like Muhammad Ali. I don't know how he manages to get out, getting traded for a couple years now. Even go, I don't understand. And like I said, I made it known I like Kyle Kuzma. And in an era where you have to constantly tell people that you like people because people think that if you criticize their basketball game, you dislike them, which is untrue. I like Kyle Kuzma as a player. I like him as a person. And if we were a team that was contending, I wouldn't mind him here. I think he's a good asset, but we are in a rebuild. And I'm not questioning why they traded Deni Avdija. I'm questioning why you decided to retain veterans. And I know what people are going to say. Yes, we can turn around and flip him at the deadline. We said that last year, and then we asked him if he wanted to go, and he's still here. So that's my biggest problem. It's not the fact that we moved Deni Avdija, even though I'm a big Deni guy. He's going to do well in Portland. I really question that before you trade a veteran like Kyle Kuzma, before you trade a veteran like Landry Shamet, before you trade a 23-year-old guy who is homegrown, you developed him, you watch him finally break out, you sign him to an extension, and then you ship him out. And I like Bub Carrington. So that's that's my issue with it. I definitely wish all the blessings in the world to Deni Avdija. I definitely want to see him excel in Portland until he comes here to play us. I definitely will be at that game, man, because he played good ball here, man. And like I said, there was a lot of 50-50 on Twitter, aka X. People that didn't like Deni, the people that do like Deni, they understand. And it's whatever. I mean, if you don't believe that the guy has high upside, it is what it is. But because I just get to the point where I'm not going to argue with people on X anymore. But I think we can all agree that Deni was a nice young player who got better year in, year out, man. Whether you believe he was an all-star potential or whether you believe he was a role player, he was a young player who got better every year. So it is what it is. We'll see with Kyle Kuzma right now. I know the last time I saw, there was a report that there was rumored that Kyle Kuzma, they were looking at possibly trading him to Boston. I don't know if it was I didn't look at the source yet, so don't quote me on that. But and then there was news that Corey Kispert was also drawing interest in the trade market. So we'll see. We have some time, so you very well could see them moved, and they very well could be around till the deadline. But that's my issue. The move of a 23-year-old in a rebuild before you move a 29-year-old is questionable. All right, we're going to take a look at the next couple of draft picks. Next, Bub Carrington. And I'll say I like this kid, man. I think that Bub Carrington can play some basketball. He is formerly out of Baltimore. He's a local product, man. And what do I like about him real quick? Now, I'll say this. Yes, I'm not happy with the Deni trade, but I think that once you look at the dynamics of it, it's not a bad move because Bub Carrington is going to be a really good guard in DC, man. A really good guard, in my opinion, because, look, he's 6'5". He slotted to play the point guard position. He could play two guard. I mean, he's a shooter. He's a scorer, man. Averaging 13.8 points. I mean, he shot 41% from the field, 32% from three. I get the numbers don't point out to you. But the cool thing is, I definitely double-check this time, y'all. He is actually the second cousin of Rudy Gay. Again, another guy coming out of B. Moore. So good lineage as far as, having a family memory, because Rudy Gay was a really good player, man, stretching back to his days in Memphis and Sacramento. Big fan of Rudy Gay. But, I mean, good things to really look from Bub Carrington, a.k.a. Carlton Carrington. Look, catch and shoot threes. Good form on it, man. Good handles. I mean, good willing passer. Good advantage creator of pick and rolls and drives. Super fast. So, and, this is a team that wants to push the pace. So, I love it. This is a team that last year in the second half of the season was number one in pace. So I love the capabilities that we have with him as far as pushing. A fast guard with size. We've been saying this for a while, y'all. We need a guard with size. We got it. We need a guard with size who can move. We got that. So Bub Carrington, man, he's going to do well in DC, in my opinion. Now, what are some things he needs to work on? Poor percentages on pull-up and mid-range jumpers. So definitely, for a guard, you definitely want to see him not only develop a mid-range and a pull-up, but get better in efficiency. Processing information, basketball IQ is kind of mid, mid-level of basketball IQ. Finishing, he definitely needs to work on his finishing. And defense is an issue. He's not super impactful defensively. So you definitely want to see if Brian Keith and David Vanderpool and whatever coaches they add, because he did. We already covered a couple coaches they added, but definitely need to work on his defensive game, man. But overall, love what I see from Bub Carrington. Really good prospect, man. And like I said, I didn't know if we were going to trade back. That he was probably willing. I did a video on all the prospects, and probably the only one I missed out on was Bub Carrington. And I held back because I didn't know we were going to trade back, because I knew we weren't going to get him at 26. So good addition. Final addition in the night at number 24. And we actually traded the number 26 pick and the number 51st pick in the second round for the chance to trade for Kyshawn George, my guy, a guy that I predicted would be a good fit around 26, and we grabbed him at 24. And again, all it costed us was the 26th overall pick in the first round and the 51st overall pick in the second round. And let's go ahead and pull him up, man. And like I said, big fan of him also. I wanted him here, and there's a reason for that, because the kid can play basketball out of the University of Miami, a.k.a. the U. Look at him again, 6'8", a 6'8" guard who could probably play forward too. Looking at his shooting percentages, I mean, 42% from the field, 40% from three. Lord, I love what I hear from that. I mean, what can he do? Possesses the skill and the size and the skills to be a versatile swing man with significant potential, man. I mean, fast breaks, he's money. Again, another guy who's going to eat on transition. Good moves, he gets past defenders, man. Good footwork, improvement in ball control, reliable passer. But the biggest thing with him is shooting. That is, if you take his strongest skill, is shooting. Proficient in pulling up for shots, catching and shooting. The list goes on, man. He is a really good shooter, and we need shooters, man. So big fan of Kyshawn George. Now, what are the weaknesses? Because where every pro, there's a con. All right, so weaknesses, not the quickest guy. So I know we heard that before with Johnny Davis, but what does Johnny Davis not have? A shot. So not the quickest guy. He definitely compensates with skills and understanding of the game, which basketball IQ is through the roof, in my opinion. So footwork and basketball IQ is going to be a lot of part of his package, man, as far as his success, man, because he doesn't have the speed, kind of like Johnny Davis is going to blow past anybody, but finesse, footwork, and understanding the game are going to be areas where it is really going to help him out with his transition to the NBA. So again, everybody, was definitely welcome Alex Sarr with the number 2 overall pick to DC, but also Bub Carrington and Kyshawn George to the Washington Wizards. Definitely. So where do I grade this draft? I'm going to give it an A. I want to give it an A+, but I'm not happy with the Deni trade. And it's not because I don't think we should have traded him, because this was an argument I had all night on X, right? It's not that I'm saying we shouldn't have traded him. And I'm not saying I'm upset with the picks per se, even though, the picks you're looking at, if you want to scout these picks, man, you need to hurry up and go get to the middle school, man. But my problem is this, man, is that you traded a young player before you traded a vet. And now it's like, I mean, at what point do we move on from Kyle Kuzma, man? I mean, what point do we move on from Landry Shaman? And I get it, he's not guaranteed, so you can just move on without having to move him, even though he has, trade value. And the same thing, the list goes on. So that's my only problem. You guys comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. So we're going to get into comments. I know everybody is here to celebrate. I'm giving him an A, man. And, and the only thing that keeps me from an A+ is that's the Deni trade. Not that I don't think we should have traded him. I just felt like we should have moved some of these vets before you decided to move on from Deni, man. So definitely let's move on to comments. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. So as you guys know, I am a sports head, man. Baseball, ooh, I love my Nats and O's, man. Basketball, my Wiz Kids and George Mason, baby. And football is my Commanders, the DC Defenders, and JMU, man. I love sports. But I've been through every ticket app, and to me, Gametime is the go-to. Easy. The three main reasons why. Number one, last-minute deals. Save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets, not only for sports events, but for concerts, comedy shows, theater, etc. What else? All-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. And y'all know who I'm talking about, man. You already got to pay for the tickets, then you got to turn around and pay for a processing fee. I ain't having that, man. And number three, seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime, man. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN or your TV all day long? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel, program free every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. All right, fam, let's get into comments because I know everybody is ready to talk about this trade, man. And like I said, we have 225 people in the chat. Man, I appreciate y'all taking the time to talk ball with your boy, man, and celebrate this. Shook Biz One says we getting Sarr. Absolutely, my brother. I wanted him at 2, and we got him. We got him, baby. He also said, but we lost Deni. WTF? If you don't know what that means, I can't say it here, but you gotta know what I'm saying. I'm with you. And again, we all kind of knew that, he was not untradeable. He wasn't untouchable. He was a player that this organization liked, absolutely. But Bilal Coulibaly was the only untouchable because he was the product of this new front office. Obviously Deni, Corey Kispert, Johnny Davis, Rui Hachimura, but he ain't here, but are all Tommy Shepard guys. So the loyalty, wasn't there, and I get it, man. But my biggest problem is this, man. You moved him before you moved Kyle Kuzma. And like I said, I like Kuzma, man. But I'm not the guy who's going to sit here and blow a bunch of steam to keep players happy, man. As you guys know, man, I'm a guy who, 1, speaks his mind. 2, I have media credentials for the Washington Wizards, and I have no problem asking these hard questions. And look, it's the name of the game. This is a business, man. And I don't understand how you move a 23-year-old before you move Kyle Kuzma, man. I don't understand that. I'm not saying we shouldn't move Deni, man, because again, y'all, man, look, I've had this conversation with people, man. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I don't know. I mean, I want to learn boxing skills from Kuzma because I don't know how he keeps deflecting, man. I mean, I don't know how you get out. I mean, this is my thing. Let's see. Ehe, I guess that's it. Free Deni. I'm not even going to prove that. Let's see. The best in the North, Deni for Brogdon, who could become a first-round pick. We got 14 second future seconds and a 2029 second we got for ransom from Deni. Brogdon is going to be a piece that we're going to move at the deadline at the latest. I mean, he's not a long-term piece, and yeah, he would be good for leadership. I don't deny that, man. I don't know. It's nothing against Brogdon. Is that, in the picks to a certain degree, I don't mind. It's just, I don't know how you retain a guy at 29 and you freely let go of a guy who's 23. I mean, it should have been vice versa. Cruz should have been the first guy to go because it's supposed to be a youth movement. We got to get younger. We got younger. I mean, we just picked up 3 guys in the draft who 19, 18 years old, and I got to check out the age for Kyshawn George, man. But these guys are young. These are guys who are going to have to be developed. The name of the game has to be development, man. Scouting and development takes precedence over everything else. And so it's not to say that we are not going to move Kyle Kuzma because it looks like we potentially will. I mean, the latest is going to be the deadline. But it's just that's my problem, man. I mean, it's I'm not, this is definitely a look. Will Dawkins rocked this draft out, man. But I'm gonna be honest with my thoughts, man. So the best in the North also said 2029. First, I mean, I got you, brother. Invalid says, man, it sucks seeing Deni go. Yeah, I mean, it does, but like I said, Bilal, the keys have been handed over. He is now the guy that they're going to build around. So, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I'm a big Deni fan. It was really cool seeing him develop here in DC, man. And that's what I'm saying, man. You watch a guy develop, you watch a guy finally break out offensively, and so free move him, and then, so we'll see. I'll tell you this: if we move Kyle Kuzma before the deadline, it gets an A+. Will Dawkins, look, give it credit where it's due. I've been a big supporter of Will Dawkins, Michael Winger, Travis Schlenk the entire time. I said, give them some time, let them cook, and they did that. This is a good draft. This is not a bad draft. This is a really good draft. 2 out of the 3 players I slated we were going to get. So this is a good draft, man. Let's see. The best in North said, I'm glad for Deni. He deserves to go to a contender. Last year, he showed he's ready for that, not a rebuild. Brother, I hate to break it to you, man, but I mean, Portland ain't contending for nothing but another top 10 pick. But I see what you're saying, man. I definitely see what you're saying. Oh, Invalid already kind of hit that nail on the head. Thank you, brother. But I get you saying, man. Josh says, thank God, no more listening to Deni stands. I will be honest, man. This last year, they weren't even the problem, not to me. I mean, the year before, they hated me with a passion, man. I mean, if hating Brandon Scott was a sport, I mean, they got gold medals, man. But this year wasn't so much the problem, man. It was Jordan Poole stands, man. And the only thing is that for some reason they didn't understand that he was struggling in the first half, man. And the fact that I am a big Jordan Poole fan, I guess, it's whatever. Sheldon T says, haha, John, some of his fans were cool, but a couple were awful. Yeah, I'm with you. Most of them were cool, but it was a few. Anyway, good luck to Deni, but I like the fact that we got a first and other picks from. Yeah, I mean, the picks I don't have a problem with. I mean, it was a good trade for Will Dawkins. Nothing with Will Dawkins, man. Definitely like it. My only thing is this, man, is that, we have moves to make. And like we all know there's a lot of dominoes need to fall. So I'm going to let them cook, man. I'm not going to get into I don't like the trade to a certain degree, but it's not a terrible trade. It's weird, man. Because y'all know, man, the biggest issue is Kyle Kuzma. He would have been the first guy to go, or Landry Shaman. To me, they would have been the couple of the first pieces to go. But again, we're not in the war room with Will Dawkins and Michael Winger. We understand the process. It's a process to it. So I'm gonna let him cook, man, because I'm very impressed with his draft, in my opinion, man. John Carl says devastated about Deni getting traded. Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's tough to watch a guy that is homegrown, develops, he breaks out, you sign him to an extension, and so it is a tough one, man. Because like I said, I liked it, man. He's a really humble young man who had a work ethic, man. He worked his tail off to get better, so he's gonna eat in Portland, man. Portland's got a crazy, sneaky, nice little roster over there, man. If Scoot could figure it out and really reach that potential, Shade and Sharp, the list goes on, man. Let's see, the best in the North. Compare us to anyone but Nets are contenders. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Michael O says, Deni is gone. Great day to be DC. Can I trust his front office? I mean, I take it you don't really like Deni. That's fine. I mean, look, I'm not here to try to sway anybody, like nobody, man. I mean, we all got opinions, and I respect everybody's opinion, man. But, like I said, I think we all can agree that he was a young guy that got better every year. Whether you liked him or not, he was a young guy who got better. And you can't say that about every pick. I mean, we still waiting on if Johnny Davis can average 5 points. So, I mean, you give credit where it's due, man. He improved every year. I'm not going to trash the guy on the way out. I'm just not. Uptown Dre says, yo, we got Sarr and Bud, but lost Deni. Salute. New chapter. Yeah, I mean, and that's a great way to look at it. Yeah, I get it. A lot of us aren't happy about losing Deni, but you got to move on, man. Like I said, I great comment, Uptown Dre. New chapter. Moving on, man. I'm not going to harp too much on the Deni trade. Don't like it, but I respect and like Will Dawkins. And to me, he did a daggone great job with his draft, man. New chapter, absolutely. We're heading in a new direction. Idiot said the GM is great at drafting, but trading is very questionable. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not happy with the Deni trade, but I'm ready to move on. And look, I support this organization, man. I support this team. I'm not always happy with them, but and my job is to report on them, analyze them, and I do that unbiased. But I like what they're doing. I like this front office, man. Amir L says, cheer up, Brandon. You just got rid of Israeli fan. Oh man, you a trip. I mean, it's really, hey, I wish a lot of them luck, man. Really, like I said, look, I got love for 99.9% of y'all, man. There's always that few quackos out there that always have an issue. But look, man, this past couple of years, man, it's been cool, man. A lot of dialogue, talking ball, a lot of Israeli fans, man, a lot of Deni fans. What I like is that we could sit in and talk ball. You had a few quacks out there, man, but a lot of them just like talking ball, man. So, like I said, definitely blessings of Deni over in Portland, man. But like my man Uptown Dre said, I'm looking towards the future, man. So, definitely agree with that. It says, Omar says, thanks for always being fair and honest, Brandon. It was a blast. Yeah, look, man. I report on the court production. Deni, you saw the potential from the get. And so, anytime I criticize, anytime I show love, it's based on the court production or lack of production, man. I'm fair with everybody. People, and that's what I'm saying, that I think we all agree in this era, man, in this generation, man, when people a lot of people can't take criticism. Or people think that if you criticize, it's because you don't like them. And it's not that. It's that the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, sports and period is a performance. It's about performance. You either perform or you don't. And so I definitely appreciate that, man. Because like I said, a big Deni fan, man. But like I said, he's going to eat in Portland, man. But I'm definitely looking forward to the future. Idiot said no one is trading up these picks. I thought they said it was going to be a weak draft. Again, a lot of these experts, it was a weak draft, but for a team like the Wizards, it's a developmental draft. Perfect for the Wizards. You got 3 kids who know how to play, man. Bub Carrington and Kyshawn George are going to be nice, man. I'm telling you guys should be just as excited for them as you are as Alex are, because we got 3 really good prospects. 3 really good prospects, man. So, my unhappiness about the Deni trade, I don't want that to overshadow, giving flowers to Will Dawkins, because in my opinion, he did a great job. The sign says, bye, Deni stands. No more Israeli fandom. Y'all leave that man alone. Clyde says, no more toxic Deni fans. Yeah, I mean, they were passionate. Very, very passionate, man. But you know what? They know their ball, man. Like I said, and that's the one thing I like about the NBA as opposed to the NFL and Major League Baseball. And I love all leagues and all sports, man. I'm a sports head. But the diversity of basketball, the fact that we have players from Israel, players from Africa, players from the Middle East, players from Europe, players from Australia, players from every area of the United States. I love it, man. It's so many different pieces of it, man. I love it. So, Reed Oaks says Dawkins cook tonight, point guard of the future and power forward of the future with Bub and Sarr. Absolutely. Let the man cook. Like I said, I don't want my dislike of the Deni trade to overshadow the fact that Will Dawkins did a heck of a job. He did a heck of a job, in my opinion. He also said, I'm not going to miss Deni fans. Lord. Israel Teague, what's good? It's been a fun ride. I hope you do well, other than playing versus the Blazers, of course. Hey, man, like I said, all love, man. All love to y'all, man. Definitely go over there and get the Blazers some smoke, man. But, Deni's going to do well. And like I said, I also look forward to the future for the Wizards, man, because Will Dawkins, for the second year in a row, rocked out the draft, man, and did a heck of a job. Link says, if we get Brogdon, Kuz, and Tyus off the team, I understand. Why would they want to get rid of Deni? And that is because they want Bilal to play his role, but it sucks because Deni was finally getting good. And that's my problem, man. But it is that you watch a guy that is homegrown, who you develop, who broke out, who you signed to an extension, you move in. And I get it, going to the draft, he wasn't untouchable. Nobody was, but except for Bilal. And I get it because Bilal is the product of this front office. Same thing with Tristan Vucevic. I get it. I get all that, man. I have no problem. It's just, to trade him before a vet is questionable to me. And I'm just going to leave it alone because you guys have heard it enough. Desan says, Sarr, Bub, and Kyshawn A+ draft. Kyshawn will probably play with the Go-Go this year. We'll see, man. But look, he's got talent. I mean, he can play. I know the Hurricanes aren't known for their basketball talent as opposed to football, but this kid can play. He can shoot the ball, man. Locked on Law says Deni was a definition of mid. There are hundreds of Denis in the NBA. I see your point, man, but I mean, I guess the fact that he was homegrown is really the point I'm making. But like I said, everybody's got an opinion, man. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying he's the next Luka, which has been something that's been said. No, what I'm saying is that I respect his game. Like most of the guys on this team, including guys like Kuzma and Landry Shaman. I respect his game. And you see the potential with Deni, man. In the right system, he can't, it's all about system and fit, man. So I get that. I get why people think he's mid. I get why people think he's great. I get all of it. Y'all know me, man. I'm a guy who I try to look at every perspective, man. I get all that. So I'm with you. William Lee, my bad, bro. Said no more watching Deni complain to the refs, allowing mismatches on the other end of the floor. I get you on that, man. That was something I didn't like, was arguing with the refs, man. But he's a young guy, man. He's gonna learn. He's gonna learn. Be all right. Locker Law says no more Israeli stands flooding the NBA chats with nonsense. Like I said, most of them were cool, but you had the weirdos out there, man. But most of them were actually really, really cool cats, man. Red Wings 01 said losing Deni kind of blows, but man, what a haul we walked. Thank you. This haul, man. Wow. I mean, this is a good draft, man. Let's see. Vaxman said, not gonna lie, happy with the trade and the picks. And he said, rumor has it we might trade Kuz for 30 and future picks. Yeah, that's what there's a rumor that we're trading him for number 30. So you very well could see Kuz get moved. And I'll tell you what, man, Lord have mercy. I'll tell you what, it's definitely A+ if they trade Kuz. Like I said, I'm not like trying to go knock on Kuz's door and say, bro, it's time to go. Put your bags in the car and let's go. No, I get every perspective. It's just, you already know. So let's see. Got to get more than that for Kuzma, like the law says. I mean, if you look at Mikal Bridges, man, I can kind of see the argument with that. Corey Lott, what's good with you? Well, if you do trade for the 30th pick, who do we acquire with that pick? Good question, man, because you saw some people slip, in the draft, man. But so we'll see. Maybe you take a chance on Tristan Newton, another guard out of UConn, man. Maybe. Khalil Williams said we might as well hold on to Kuz till the deadline. I mean, I respect your opinion, but I disagree. You very well could see him still here to the deadline, but I mean, you already know. Desan says, why would you all grade our draft tonight? Because they traded the 51st overall pick in the second round, and this is pretty much our draft. So, barring any future moves, our draft is done until they make another move. So, the Son of God, I like that. The Son. Dawkins is the truth. Laugh aloud. 3 great picks and shipped out Deni fans. I'm with you, man. I get y'all, man. I get it. We had our experience with Deni fans, but like I said, I'm not going to judge the whole fandom, they're bad eggs because, Jordan Poole has some crazy fans too, man. I mean, Kyle Kuzma got people that are willing to like go into the fire for him not to leave DC. So, I mean, everybody's got the fans. And so I'm not going to make it to everybody, but there were some people that made things a little hard, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Corey Lott said, I'll give it a B+. I respect that. I definitely respect that. I mean, a lot of comments about the fans, man. I get it. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get through all the comments tonight, y'all. Like I said, I know everybody is very, very happy. And we're only at 32 minutes mark, man. So let's get to 40. Let's get to talking, man. Let's get through some of these comments, man. Let's see. Vaxman says, good trade him later in the season. Yeah, it's probably we're gonna do this whole song and dance at the deadline again. Let's see. Lane Peach. Okay. I'm not that high on Bub Carrington. He gives me Nickel Alexander Walker vibes. I think we messed up not selecting Tristan Da Silva. I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, ain't wrong with him being a role player. I mean, everybody thinks that 1 through 30 is going to be a starter or a star. I mean, and plus people weren't even high on this draft anyway. I mean, if he ends up being Nickel Alexander Walker, who is currently a role player, I mean, he's in the league, right? I mean, look, how many role players? I mean, look, Robert Ory. You can call him star. I mean, but how many rings he got? I mean, sometimes a role player, man. And, I mean, list goes on. I mean, JaVale McGee, role player. How many rings he got? I'm just saying, like, not everybody's going to be a starter. John Hickens said, I love what we did in the draft. I'm with you, man. Great draft. Great draft. Lame also said Jacoby Walter is better than Carrington. Now, I will say this, man. I feel you on that one because I was advocating for Jacoby Walter right before we got Bub Carrington. Like I said, I like Bub Carrington, but Jacoby Walter kind of a 3-and-D type of 2-guard, man, which I think could really be a nice next to Jordan Poole. Because again, if you have a point guard who is an offensive-minded point guard, having a 2-guard who can defend is a big plus, man. So because we saw how Tyus Jones and Jordan Poole having an undersized backcourt who can't defend. We've seen that already. So I ain't with you on that. Joe says that Deni trade was cheeks. I love it. Let's see. Will Dawkins. This is a tall axe. That is a mouthful, brother. My bad. Will Dawkins was cooking tonight. We got Sarr, C-Bub, and Kyshawn. Absolutely. I love the draft, man. Let's see. Yo, no breaks new. What's good, bro? We got Sarr. I called him the day the lottery was announced. Yes, you did, man. You calling a lot, man. Look, we're going to, look, Monument of Sports. I owe you some money, man. You didn't, yeah. I mean, look, Be Cool's on you, and then you call Sarr, man. So look, Monument owe you some money on the fly, man. Let's see. I'm even happy with Bub and Kyshawn. Went as well as it could have. Giving up Deni for Bub and extra was tough, but yeah, I'm with you. It's tough, and I get the move, man. Like I said, I'm not happy with it, but I don't want that to overshadow Will Dawkins, man. I don't, because Will Dawkins did a great job in his draft. Anti-social extrovert, that is a mouthful. Also, I hope Kispert isn't traded. He's the best shooter on the team. Yeah, but that's the thing. How do you? I mean, you trade Deni, you trade Kispert. I mean, if the argument is you traded Deni because he was drafted by another front office and you retain Corey Kispert, I don't understand that. And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to let things settle. I'm going to let things settle. I'm going to let the dust settle before we really, because you very well could see Kyle Kuzma, Landry Shamet get moved at some point. And like I said, front office is doing this thing. And I made the comment on X, if you guys have caught it, that wasn't a big fan of Deni trade, but I don't want to overshadow what Will Dawkins did tonight. He did his thing tonight. We finally have a legitimate general manager, man, who is doing the right things. These last 2 drafts, I'm a big fan of. I mean, so we'll see about next year, but I'm going off the sample size I'm giving about Will Dawkins, and he is as advertised, in my opinion. This is a good draft, in my opinion. So, Joe says his team will win 6 games next year. I mean, if you're trying to get Cooper Flag, then there you go. Let's see. Mike Lowry said, "Baby, OKC Thunder." Yep, that exactly. Trying to get through this, guys. My guy, man, big supporter. Merrill Garrett, how you doing, brother? Hit the like button, subscribe, support Brandon. Appreciate you, bro. As always, man, appreciate you. Wizards fans should be happy tonight. You guys should be very, very happy. And like I said in the beginning of the show, you should be as happy for Bub Carrington and Kyshawn George as you are Alex Sarr, because you got 3 guys who are going to be really good prospects, in my opinion. Could be very, very good players in the future. Let's see. We don't have to trade Kuz or Cuz tonight. It can still happen. Yeah. I think it's going to happen. There's a lot of buzz around the Celtics. I mean, I don't know. The Celtics, are we the minor league team for the Celtics? Apparently, I don't know. But I'm with you on that, man. Merrill said Denny Richie's selling. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not advocating that he's going to be a superstar, but I think that he's a system guy. You hear a lot about system guys in the NFL, more so the NBA, but he's a system guy. In the right system, depending on the system is where his value at. That's how you judge the value of Deni is the system. He did well here. But if you look at the coaches, when he first came to Washington, they didn't play him to his strengths. He was not a corner, catch and shoot guy. But when he found coaches that knew how to utilize him, he did well. So, hopefully he finds the right system, man. So I'm with you too. I definitely agree with that. As far as his system fit. New Vision Studios was good. Said, I'm glad Deni is gone. Good luck in Portland. Okay, fair enough. Got you. Let's see. I hope Kuzma is gone before Brogdon. We'll see. And that is Ann in Sombro. Woo. I get that too. Let's see. JH said Deni was cool, not amazing. I agree with that. Okay, that's fair enough. Let's see. Iton Melody said Wiz front office are drunk. I mean, it's a good drunk, man. It must be Alizé. It ain't whiskey, because it's not a bad draft, man. So I'll take that buzz. Let's see. Chris Hutchins said, and that was a stupid trade. Trade your don't let's see, don't trade Deni. Sarr was a good pick after. I don't agree with that everything else. Yeah, I mean the trade. I mean, like I said, I get all angles, man, all perspectives. I get that. I really, really do. Link says I've been a Wizards fan for a minute, but seeing Deni in a Blazers jersey will be much weirder than seeing Bill in a Suns jersey. Yeah, man, the Suns are all over the place, man. I don't know if you guys heard, man, but there's rumors that the Houston Rockets are looking to add KD. So Bradley Bill might be the Supermax guy in Phoenix, man. So I don't know. Let's see. Try to get through a lot more guys. Like I said, we have 284 people in the chat, so I'm not going to be able to get to everybody. Let's see. I'm gonna try to do 2 more comments, man. Let's see. Like I said, I'm not gonna get everybody's comments, but this week coming up, we're gonna get into lineups and fit. And you guys know me. I try to look at every possible outcome in perspective, man. So we're gonna be very busy this week coming up. Let's see. JH says Q's has a team-friendly deal. Gotta have some veteran presence. We're also heavy at wing. Deni was disposable. I don't know, man. I mean, how is Deni more disposable than Kyle Kuzma? I mean, and if the pretense is a team-friendly deal, Deni made less. And if you're going off leadership, go get Anthony Gill. I don't buy that. I mean, I'm sorry. I got love for you, man, but I don't entirely buy that. Because it's a team-friendly deal. Deni's deal was less. And as far as heavy at wing, if you're heavy at wing, why trade a 23-year-old before a 29-year-old if you're year 2 in a rebuild? That's all I'm saying. Got love for you, but I don't agree. Let's see. After that Mikal Bridges trade, we should at least get 3 first-round picks for Kuzma. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, I'll say this. How many teams view Kyle Kuzma as that final piece? But Mikal Bridges looks like it could be for the Knicks, especially now that OG Anunoby is going back with a 5-year deal. Let's see. Nope. No politics. Let's see. CD said Deni was our best player. He was one of our best. He was one of our best. Let's see. And let's see. We'll try to get through this, guys, because like I said, I'm gonna try to knock out everybody's comment, but it's gonna be hard because we got a lot of comments tonight. So let me knock out a few more guys and call it a night. Like I said, I'm trying to hit everybody up, man. Let's see. Lane Peach says, Brandon, you be hating on Poole. Where have you been at, man? I mean, where am I hating on Poole? When he got traded, this is gonna be last comment. I'm gonna spend my time on this one. Okay, Brandon, you be hating. First of all, Grammarly is free. All right, number 2, Brandon, you be hating on Poole. Keep that energy. When did I hate it on him? I've just spent all the content from when the offseason started for the Wizards, calling him the point guard of the future. When he came over from Golden State, I said he could be the future of the Wizards. When he struggled, I said he needs to figure it out. He's too good not to figure it out. When he figured out his 6-man, I gave him his flowers. When he replaced Tyus Jones as starting point guard, I gave him his flowers. So watch the videos and stop looking at the title. Because in no shape or form have I hated on Jordan Poole. Where have you been? And that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, out of 99%, it's always that 1% where it's like, do you even watch the videos? I be hating on Poole. Keep that energy up. Fair enough. All right. Fair enough. All right, let's do one more because I don't understand that. You guys, whatever. Let's see. Let me do one more, man, because matter of fact, we're gonna go ahead and call it tonight, y'all. Like I said, I will say this in closing that you should be just as excited about Alex Sarr as you are, or let's flip that. You should be just as excited for Bub Carrington and Kyshawn George as you are for Alex Sarr, because we have 3 high pick impact guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it tonight because I've had my fill. Like I said, appreciate you guys, man. 99.9% of you guys, the rest of y'all just don't come back. But definitely should be very, very excited about this draft, guys, because like I said, Will Dawkins, give him his flowers. Did a great job. So Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV and the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Day is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with the local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. All right, so everybody have a blessed night. It's Wednesday night. Really, it is Thursday morning. So again, appreciate you guys taking the time to rock with your boy, man. Like I said, love y'all, man. I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're gonna chop it up live. Not on a Friday. We're gonna chop it up live. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about future moves and where do these 3 young men fit as far as roster fit. So definitely appreciate you guys. So hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys tomorrow night.